Welcome back to Double A FC, bringing you something new for the channel. We're dissecting Manchester United's 3-2 win over Nottingham Forest. Controversial, some say. I was at the game, not controversial at all. Someone with me, absolute legend, who I absolutely love to bits. He's going to sit with me and dissect it as well. It is the one and only Manchester United's biggest fan. It's Andy Tate. How are you doing, pal? Are you all right?
I'm okay, mate. I don't claim to be the biggest fan. We're all brothers in the same mix.
You're the best. That's what I'm saying. Biggest and best in my eyes, anyway, mate. But thanks for joining me. Thanks for sitting down and talking over the weekend's game. I obviously saw you there afterwards. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But for you, like I say, 3-2 win. Not a great start in any way, shape, or form. How did you see the game, and what were your thoughts overall on it?
Well, I think, like you say, whatever was said, just like Tottenham, went out the window within the first four and a bit minutes. Absolutely stupid to get rinsed from a corner and you're in an attacking position to like say, it just staggers belief because United's done this before. I've seen it in games when we've been attacking, we've had a corner and we've been caught on the break and we've been caught with our pants down and spanked. Yeah. So like Wan-Bissaka jumped for that ball. Maybe the sun was in his eyes, but maybe his hair was in his eyes. Who knows? But he got rinsed, and Rashford, like you say, he got rinsed as well. And that number 9, big powerful player, big powerful. Yeah. And he took his goal well. He took his goal. It reminded me of about Craig Bellamy goal at Old Trafford in a derby when he was just running and running and running. Rio got rinsed.
Yeah,
and he couldn't catch him. And it was the same type of that line on the floor as well. That's what Unana did when Ben Foster did. It was the same sort of goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think looking back at that first goal, I can't believe that we've left Wan-Bissaka, yeah, with that fullback, and in that instance, like you say, he covers his eyes because he can't see the ball. In that instance, if you think you're not going to get the ball, you just foul the player, don't you? You just barge into him, knock him over, be a bit stronger. I know Ayew was quite strong, big, strong guy, like you're saying. But take the foul. But what was most worrying for me was the two players after Wan-Bissaka are Anthony and Rashford, two of your most attacking players. Do you feel that's a bit of a miscalculation from Ten Hag there to leave those two players as your sort of last line of defence?
Yeah, I do actually, because you always leave at least one defender back, and all our defenders were doing the attacking, and all our wingers and attackers were being defenders on the last line of defence, which was, I find, most bizarre. Yeah. Maybe because it's the first few minutes, it might not be on Ten Hag. It's the first few minutes of a game, you know what I mean? Because prior to that, we just had a shot. Then Anthony drew the corner, and he forced the save out of the Forest keeper. So yeah, it could be on Ten Hag, but I can look the other way on this because it's the first few minutes of the game at Old Trafford. But what I can't forgive is, like you say, about a minute and a half later, Delo gives away a stupid foul, and he's very good at that. Needless, silly fouls, and we can't defend set pieces. And everyone's looking at each other, and it's the guy in the face. Everybody's jumped. It's like there's no coordination. Wan-Bissaka again not picking his marker out. He took the wrong defender, and I think it was the wrong side of him as well. The ball went behind him, and it hit the other lad in the face. Basically, it smacked him in the face, like you get and it just went into the net.
Yeah, and nothing about it.
That was right behind Stretford end. I could see it, and Unana went absolutely mad at him.
Yeah. I think that the whole stadium with you. I remember watching Match of the Day, and they shown a clip of Wan-Bissaka in that instance in the free kick, and he's got his back to the ball, and I think, how do you have your back to the ball? Because you could see his number on his shirt from the camera angle. It's like, how have you managed to lose track of where you are position in the pitch? But we know that's, as much as he's improved under Ten Hag, that's definitely still a real weakness in his game for free kicks and corners, defending set pieces. So after that, I can only imagine the words coming out of your mouth, Andy. So for me, and I think what really is annoying about this Manchester United team is obviously they've got that soft underbelly, but when they go a goal down, when they go 2 goals down, that's when they start to show some mettle. And do you agree? After that, we were by far the better team, and it seemed to kick us into gear a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it took about 15 minutes to get going because Forest were like, you find a £10 note, don't you? Yeah, you know what I mean? Nottingham Forest found a tenner and they just had a chippy tea. They can't believe the look on a Friday night. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, Wickwood's in here, 2-0 up, chippy tea, can of pop. And after about 15 minutes, Man United actually got the shiznick together. Yeah. And it was a good build up to lead to the goal. Bruno leading forward, and he drew a save out the keeper, and he palmed it, pushed it away, and he got straight back onto it. It was Eriksen laid it on for Rashford. So, and Rashford doing what he's better to do on the wing than being a number 9. He drew him. Redstack got left back, and he got put in across, and Eriksen smart, really smart, because the goalkeeper was, he was nowhere to be seen, and to get one back at Stretford End was pretty good, and it's like it galvanised us, and but we sort of slowed the pace again after that. You think, yo, go, come on, what another, quick, but it was sort of like there was no galvanisation. It was about, you get that feeling, it was about patient build up on Saturday. Just getting it, being patient, knocking it about. And I say Casemiro, a couple of minutes later at Stretford End, I don't think he expected it. Because if you look at it, the Forest player, he overshot him, didn't he? Because he fell down. And Casemiro didn't expect it. And he just like, it's 2 yards out, man. Yeah, oh, man, you need looking at on that.
Absolutely. It's one of them, like you said, about the Forest goal, kind of just hit him in the face. Like I said, wasn't anticipating that ball reaching him that far. Eriksen goal, absolutely brilliant, like you say. And it's funny that Rashford put it in and Eriksen showed that. And I think he's even said it afterwards, that striker's instinct. That was a proper striker's cheeky little finish. We'll talk about Rashford quickly. I think we've all been frustrated with his output this season, especially at the number 9. And I've seen people talk about it online. 2 instances on Saturday that he's shown that kick and run, that stuff that he's good at, rather than cutting inside, trying to show a little bit of trickery and get space. 2 times, especially, he did it on Saturday, where he's just kicked it past the man and run. One got the goal for Eriksen, and one got the penalty in the second half. If you're Ten Hag, are you telling Rashford, keep doing that, because it's becoming, successful in getting us goals and you getting yourself assists?
I think it is, because stick to what you're good at. Why take on a responsibility what you know little or have any experience about? Yeah. Like, it's like Harry Kane, be a defender. Imagine that it's Harry Kane, be a defender. What's a defender? I score goals. Oh, Rashford, be a striker. What's a striker? Winger. Stick, like you say, some people can learn, some people can't. Some people take it to like a duck to water. But stick to your strengths and beliefs, and that, stay away from your weaknesses, because, like you say, he's not a striker. Being a winger, like say a left winger, coming in, cutting in, right winger, cutting in. Sometimes, occasionally playing up front for a few minutes, just interchanging, like you say. If somebody's injured or something, you can go up front for a few minutes. That's fine, interlock and all that. But you say, stick to your core beliefs and your strengths, and that's what makes Rashford a better player he is. Because the week before, and I say, the previous 2 games, he was absolutely shocking. I think with it, even he set his standard so high now with his mega contract, which he is, like you say, you've got to prove that you're worth that contract, mate. Because if you say from the previous season, if you don't deliver at least 25 goals this season, everyone's going to be pointing a finger at you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Especially, like you say, he's meant to be the big man on campus now. He's the superstar player. You have to prove that week in, week out. And regardless of where you're playing, you have to do that for the team. I mean, Bruno has come under a lot of stick, as he does, not just from Manchester United fans, but from fans all over football. You see it on social media, he's always
pundits as well.
Yeah.
Pundits as well. So I've seen some pathetic pundits who slag him off, and you know, they work for certain, was it broadcasters, and they slag him off, and they've got the audacity to, like I say, they captain a certain Aston Villa side. Oh, I think it was Micah Richards, you know what I mean? Yeah. Slagging him off, and he shouldn't be captain. When you captain Aston Villa, who had the worst points total, and they got relegated in the Premier League. Absolutely. So before you point fingers, look at yourself, Micah Richards. You know, you got a lot to say for somebody with little experience in the job of a captain.
Yeah, and who we all saw can't take penalties to save his life. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, can't take it to take his life, to save his life. Sorry. Yeah. It's early morning, he's way, you know what I mean? I'm still half asleep.
It's not good. So get on Bruno then. I mean, like I say, the captaincy's been questioned. He's been sort of criticised by United fans and fans in football. But Saturday, he really showed. We've been asking them players to show up, to grab the game by the scruff of the horn, grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and really show that you can lead this team when we need you, when we need to fight back. For you, he's shown that in spades on Saturday. Do you think?
Yeah, I think he did. He's shown it in spades because he was moaning last week. He played well first half, but second half, he just went off the boil like he did against Wolves. So it's a game back. He say, you want to be captain now? It's your responsibility to lead by example. He say, it's one of those. It's like Bovril. You either love it or you hate it. Oh, Marmite. Yeah, it's Marmite. You love it or you hate it with Bruno. He's like, you'll moan 5 minutes, then 5 minutes later you're praising him. That's the Bruno we like. You know what I mean? But sometimes you say it's that Latino spark in it. Exactly. Like you say, from a Portuguese, Spaniard, Mexican, it's that will to win.
Yeah,
and it drove the team in the second half with the equaliser as well, because he was at the forefront with the free kick and all that, and setting up Casemiro for the equaliser.
Yeah, I had to eat some humble pie on that, because as soon as he passed it to Rashford, everyone's in the box. Because we saw in that game there was too many times they weren't putting it in the box on corners and free kicks. They were pissing around with it and just lofting it, and you know what I mean, just not doing it quick enough. So when he passed it to Rashford, I turned to my dad and went, "What fucking joke that is." 2 seconds later, he's dinked it over to Bruno, and my dad just turned to me and went, "What were you saying?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll shut up." That's why I'm not a manager. I don't know what I'm doing. But like you say, Bruno really did charge that fight back, especially in the second half, and we were lucky. I think we were unlucky not to score 3, 4. We did score 3, but 4 or 5, more goals. I think we was really quite good and dangerous looking going forward. Where do you think? What lessons do we take from this game now? Because obviously we've got a massive game against Arsenal on Sunday. What can we do to try and improve for next week?
Well, I think decision making is a must for next week. Let's say Bruno led the line, he won the penalty, and he say, he didn't win the penalty. He led the second half charge. Rashford got the winner, and the absolute farcical. We'll talk about that later. And he got the winner, and Bruno took the winning goal. But I think United now needs to learn. Like I say, I'll object to this, what you just said. United should have actually, we on the channels on the left and right, we had chances to increase our chance to go for the 4th. I don't know why United didn't go for the 4th. Yeah. There's a channel that United's pass making and decision making is sometimes really poor. Sancho was in on the right. Bruno, delay. Why don't you just play him in, and he can run onto it? And he didn't. And he's like, I'm sorry. Too much of that is happening. Yeah. Too much of that is happening. Poor decision making, and that's got to be cut out. Because if we want to go to Arsenal with any chance of getting something, we have to, our decision making has to be better. I'll go as well. Diego Dalot, he played a pass back to Unana, just like against Lens, the same sort of pass back. Oh, I don't want it, you have it. And it put him under immediate pressure at the Stretford End second half. So it's about decision making and passing, and that's got to be better. Like you say, you cut them problems out. I say Danny Murphy was pointing it that we got soft underbelly, like you said. You cut the defensive problems out. You can cut out, and I say the poor passing. And you got better decision making, better passing. It'll get you somewhere, and you may be able to get a result next week as well. That's what United have got to do. You've got that middle bit. It's just having that toughness at the front and going forward as well. They got, like you say, it was tough middle. The desire, there's something about the team like from last season. It's grinding it out. And like I say, we have got a really appalling away record now. Yeah. We have to do something. We have to get something Sunday. You telling me on a Monday morning, we'll take a draw. I'll take that. But then you say on a Sunday, like on the circumstances, I think we all Arsenal won.
We got to win.
We were so unlucky not to get something last season in January, because we really give them a game. So if we go there, what we say of the lessons learned, and just if we cut them out, we'll be fine. We can get a result. And their two defence ain't too shabby either, because it could go either way. We could get rinsed, and we could be the Banter Club FC, or it could be Arsenal Sunday as well. If you play it all out and it's a boring 0-0, we're all going to look like silly buggers on the Monday, aren't we? So that's what United need to clout. Mistakes, and you'll get a result.
Absolutely. Just a couple more players I'd like to talk about, and then I'll get some thoughts on the last days of the window, and then maybe a prediction for Sunday. So another player, you're talking about the wings, and another player that's getting so much criticism, and it's all down to the price tag for me. It's nothing else more than that. About the output, but he's still a developmental player. Probably one of our best players for me until he went off after Bruno was Anthony. I think he was a constant threat down that right-hand side. He really looked like he had, the juice, and he was willing to impress and be that outlet for us. What were your thoughts on his game, especially the first half on Saturday?
Yeah, I think he played better the first half. He was drawing fouls. He was cutting in with his left and right as well. Even in the second half, he was drawing the fouls. He had a shot, and it was well saved by the keeper, even putting a ball with his right foot. Yeah. And I think the criticism of the previous game, and I say the Wolves game, I'm pretty sure he's absorbed it. He's like you say, he knows he has to play better, because I said it on the paddock. He stunk the place out. I would say drop him, play Palestra. That's what, like I say. When Palestra came on against Tottenham were worried for about a good 5, 6, 7 minutes. So, and if you got somebody who goes at him, like Anthony, like supposed to do, well, you worry defenders, and Anthony's like, oh, the penny's dropped now. That's what you got to do game by game. You can't just every 2 games. Can't be like a Scott McTominay every 2 games and disappear for another 5, 6, or 7. So that is what he has learned, and he was good on Saturday. And that's what they say, the media agenda against United. It's a joke. When you're top of the tree, you're bottom of the tree. They're still after you. It's unreal. But I think Anthony, definitely improvement. And they say, going into Saturday, I think you might be relishing that as well. Hostile crowd and that at the Emirates. I can say, they're there to be got at Arsenal on the wings. You've seen that on Saturday.
Looks like, they've not started the season too well. And again, Anthony's not someone to shy away. He's full of confidence in it. He's a confident lad. He should be looking forward to a game like that. Just quickly, the last player I'd like to talk about, and it's more of a concern, I guess. He came off at half-time. Rafael Varane, it's been said it was a precaution. He felt something go. He's been probably, him and Wan-Bissaka, probably our best players so far this season, which isn't saying a lot considering how well we've not played. How vitally important that this injury is not long-term for Rafa Varane for you?
Yeah, I think he's like, you got to wrap him in cotton wool. It's like preserving your most prized asset, your most prized figure, antique or whatever it is. Like what I collect action figures. You preserve it, you put him in the cupboard, you leave him there for a week, you dust him out, see if he's all right, and you put him into play. So I think that's what we have to do with Varane. Like you say, you got to look after him. Because, like you say, injuries can happen at certain ages now because he's the other side of 30. But it has helped that he has retired from the World Cup duty, and it does help as well. So it's say he is vital to the cause, and it's the same. Like we've lost Luke Shaw as well, and now we're, let's say, we're messing about looking at crap options, scraping the battle that we talked last night on Saeed TV. Yeah. So he's so vital. We look after him and say treat him with kid gloves.
Absolutely. The last couple of days of the window now, end of this week. What would you like Manchester United to do, and what can you actually see us doing?
Oh, what a bloody midfielder! I say we need a replacement for Luke Shaw as well. But whether we're gonna get him is another thing. I've heard Scott McTominay last night. You say you and me were both agreed. Like, you know what? I will buy. I will pay. I will skim myself. I will go into my debt on my credit card on my bank account to pay for his ticket to fucking Germany. That's what I would do. I will pay one way to Deutschland. One way to Deutschland, please. On EasyJet, the cheapest possible flight. I'll even throw in a free meal if my budget can scrape it for Scott McTominay. You know, I think that's what you'd do as well. But yeah,
I would drive all the way to Germany, mate. I'd go the whole route. I'd pay first class. Let's do it. Let's club together. We'll get him a first class ticket over there, mate.
We'll even throw in a travel lodge for the night. Yeah, I'm sure they do a Deutsch Lodge, whatever it is in Munich.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. So a midfielder, do you think there'll be any other movement? Do you think Maguire will go? Do you think we'll get a centre back? How do you see that one going?
I think, well, I've heard rumours this morning as well. Maguire option, so it's a loan now. Where honestly I can't fathom. You know, it's maybe like you say, Maguire, maybe a nice person in general, but he has got the wrong people around him. Yeah. Seriously, like you say, yeah, you're Captain America. You're Iron Man. You are absolutely, he believes his own height, man. Yeah. When really, you're Ant-Man. You're this small now. That's it. That's what I mean. Like, it's like, feeding some waffle into his ears. Like, I can understand. If he stays on now, it's about money. So just go. I just want rid, wash hands, done, gone. And if we get, like I say, if West Ham come for McTominay again as well, just get, like you say, get what you can. Dean Henderson's gone now. That's 20 million. So why don't you use that 20 million and go and get Amrabat? See, Man United are shitting themselves. They're trying to cool it now. Apparently, the papers are saying we're not in for him. When they're, like you said, Italian media are pumping it up out there.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely. So quickly then, so we spoke a little bit about Sunday. It's going to be a massive game. It's outside of Liverpool and City, I think it's the game United fans look forward to the most. That rivalry from the late 90s, early 90s with Arsenal is fantastic. They always are good games. I love going to Old Trafford to watch them. How do you see it going quickly? Like you said, if we cut out those mistakes, we're in with a chance. You know, they drew at home. They've not looked so convincing, even against Forest. Similar to ourselves, there's a chance for United there if we show up.
There's a chance, and I said there's a chance there for Arsenal as well. Could go either way, but we stop this run. We get some at Sunday, and we have to play to our full potential. And like I say, you dig at, you work hard, you play hard as well. Intimidating atmosphere, but it might just actually the players might thrive on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Rashford scored that last season. Even Martinez scored. He's a rare goal, you know what I mean, from Argy Bargy. And he got an head wound for his trouble as well. He scored with his bandage, you remember that? So, United really can't afford a defeat because we say, if we want to harbour top four ambitions, I know I don't want to talk like this, but it's the way it is this season. It's like, you say, City are on another level. Like you say, if City pull away, you can fight for second, third, fourth and fifth. That's you can do that. So Arsenal fans are already moaning because they drew, and they're already 2 points behind Man City. So it could be 5 on Sunday. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's going into a midweek what you call it, England break. We won over Arsenal would be really good, but we have to get something. A defeat is not a bloody option because I'm sick of losing on the road. We've got, after we get out of this, if we get out of this with something, we come out, we've got some games, like you say, quite favourable. Like, no disrespect to the teams. Yeah. Like you say, we've got Brighton, we've got Burnley, I think. Then we've got somebody else, Crystal Palace. There's some winnable games after that. So I say, to go to the international break with something from the Emirates, it'll be really positive. And you say, we can take stock, and you say, we'll see what we get in the next couple of days with the transfer window as well. So, it's going to be in the world of Man United, you one defeat, you one game from everything. You're top of the world, and you one defeat from the end of the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a massive week for sure. Andy, thank you so much spending a bit of time with talking over the game.
Cheers, mate.
I hope you enjoy the week. I hope United treat you well. I hope we get some signings in. I hope the game is good on Sunday. And we'll hopefully next week we'll be talking about that as well. I didn't say it at the start of the video, so I'll say it here. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Subscribing to the channel. AAFC is very, very new, so I need as many supporters as possible, so I appreciate that. Make sure you're following Andy as well. Absolute legend. Be sure to have a good week, and let's hope United can do some good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.